So if you don't know Cactus Puppy's a resident genius, workshop connoisseur. And it looks like, what, you've been working on the damage numbers with the new changes? Over here are the different guns and stuff that will mostly be affected. Tracer pistols, damage of 6. So currently, if you shoot armor on Tracer, you do 4.2 damage per bullet. But when the armor change kicks in, you'll be doing 3 damage per bullet. Someone in Spyler's chat said anyone who deals more than 17 damage will be doing more damage against armor. We'll get there. We'll get there because I think that's correct. Or something, it's close to correct. That sounds right. So you'll now be doing 3 damage. So you'll be doing half the amount of damage you normally do to armor. This is why Brig was a problem in Overwatch 1 versus Tracer, because Brig had a lot of armor, and don't forget her rally used to give you armor, not over health. So it was actually like a huge counter. Tracer Pistol's headshot does 12 damage. Against current armor does 8.4 damage per bullet. It will now do 5.25. Is this with the damage reduction, like the passive too, or no? This includes the tank headshot passive. Okay, so the tank headshot passive and new armor, Tracer only does 5.25 damage per pellet, as opposed to 8.4, which is on today's patch. That's insane. Mauga bullets does 4 damage currently, and it currently on armor does 2.8. Against the new armor will do 2. That's a significant, like, it's only 0.8, but when we're working with such low numbers, that's a huge change. Mauga bullets headshots currently do 5.6 damage per pellet, and it will only do 3. So when you say headshots with Mauga, that also means like his crit one, right? Like his crit gun. I'm assuming they all mean crits. I'm going to go ahead and assume that also includes, well, actually, that's a good question because it's not a headshot on Mauga, right? Kaide said the auto crit is not affected by the headshot passive in Emonk's chat. Oh, okay. So it's not affected by the headshot passive, but against armor, so specifically actually getting headshot, not using the crit multiplier, like just getting headshot by Mauga, instead of doing 5.6 damage per pellet or bullet, you're gonna do 3 damage, a 32% difference. Holy that's actually crazy. That means Mauga is actually still pretty good. No, Mauga is still gonna be pretty good, don't get me wrong, but that's a significant damage drop. Yeah, it's gonna be worse. Yeah. I mean, I don't think Mauga's gonna go anywhere. Yo, Drunk on Rice, thanks for the gifty. I appreciate it. I don't think Mauga's gonna go anywhere, but that's still crazy. Pharah Direct Rocket does currently 120 damage. Against armor of today, it's 84. With new armor, it's 115. So this is what I was talking about if you watched me do the blog stuff earlier, was like Widow headshot, right? And I'm sure we're gonna get into that at some point. I'm sure he's working on it. No, actually, it's the next thing up. Against Widow headshots, that's where you'll probably feel it the most without the passive kicked in. So you're actually going to be taking a lot more damage versus Pharah now. It'll be a lot more damage versus Pharah on tank. Widow headshot, or sorry, Widow body shot. Wait, hang on. Oh, Widow body shot is the same thing. I didn't even realize it did the same amount of damage. So currently it does 84 damage against armor. It will then do 115. And then for Widow headshot, currently it does 210. That doesn't sound right. This assumes you have 210 armor to absorb all the damage. Oh, I see. So wait, this actually ends up still being good for Widow in the end though. Because, yeah, the 25% passive is there, but there's the big chunk of damage taken out by the new or current day armor is gone, right? If you have less than 210 armor, you'll take more damage since the armor runs out. Ah, okay. That's interesting. So wait, if you have full armor, it's worse. But if you had less armor, it's better now. Can you zoom in? Yeah, I can zoom in. That's actually super interesting. Dude, balls guns, they're so bad now. I'm not the one who's putting this together, to be honest. Sojourn Rail regular damage 130, against armor 91, but with old armor, today's armor, it's only 91, but after the change, it's going to be 125. That's a big increase to body shots with railgun for Sojourn. I'm sure people will be thrilled to hear that. But headshots, though, it's not much of a difference. The 20%, the 25% is genuinely the big saving grace, it seems to be. The only big problem here that I'm kind of slightly concerned about, and I said this before, is I think Overwatch 2 armor is stronger, like overall, versus burst damage. And one of the big things people are, you know, trying to fix is the explodiness of tank, right? But the thing is, though, is like the deviations are so small. Like the Widow headshot one is so small, and the Sojourn headshot one is so small. The body shot ones are much bigger, but the headshot ones are so small that it might actually not be that big of a difference. I don't know. So far, so good. Junker Queen Carnage Axe. Currently against armor does 70. It will now do 95 against armor, which is 25% more damage. So tank v tank, hitting them with a Carnage will do significantly more at the start of a fight. I think that's fine. I think that's not actually a big problem. That's actually a huge Junker Queen buff, though. Bastion Recon does 25 damage per headshot. It goes to 17.5 on current, but against new armor it'll go to 20. 10% damage increase for Bastion in Recon mode versus armor. That's not a ton. I'm more concerned about this one down here, which looks like it's going to be a good thing. But Bastion Recon Headshot, who does 50 damage. Against current armor, it's 35. Against new armor, it's 33.75. That's so interesting. That's so interesting. Because, like, the armor overall is so much weaker than Overwatch 1's. Oh, sorry, Overwatch 2's armor is so much stronger than Overwatch 1's armor. But that passive is insane. Like, the 25% damage or less damage from headshots, that's actually going to fix so much in a lot of ways. Especially against characters like Brig, Torb, Bastion. Like, if you're 1v1ing them on a DPS, like, you're going to do significantly more damage. In most cases. That's crazy. Okay, Bastion Assault. This is the big one right here for me, for against tank busting. 12 damage per bullet. Currently, it does 8.4 against current armor, but it will actually only do 7. It goes down to 7 per bullet with the new changes. And that's just armor, not even headshots. Because it's such a low amount, and it, like, armor does really, really well against, like, small shotgun pellet-y type of damages. That's crazy. That actually means that Bastion Assault form is going to be less tank bustery than it currently is. I'd say that's pretty good. That's a good thing, because that's the most annoying thing about Bastion. Okay, next, Antibiotic Rifle. Someone asked about this earlier. Biotic damage 49 currently against armor, and against new armor it'll do 70. What? Wait, so it's actually a huge buff to Ana? DOT isn't affected. No shit. Okay, let's go back up really quick. Impact from knife 65 does 45.5 and does 60. Yeah, this makes sense because it's only 5%, or sorry, 5 damage. So this is again where old armor would have been is much better, because it does a 30% flat as opposed to a maximum of 5 per pellet. Junker Queen Bleed does 30. Against old armor will do 21, but against current armor will do 30. Wait, so they have to make it so DOT is also applied to armor though, right? Like, because that's a pretty big buff to bleed, and then this Ana buff is actually crazy too, right? DOT is damage over time. The new armor is bad, to be honest. Yeah, I've said that like 90 times. It is worse than Overwatch 1's armor. This is Overwatch 1 armor. Overwatch 2 armor is significantly stronger than Overwatch 1 armor. We all know that. But it's also counted out, or it's displaced by a couple things. One, Overwatch 1 armor is better versus small damage, like pellets, like Reaper shotguns, Tracer's pistols, Diva shotguns. However, though, there's also the 25% headshot passive. So you'll probably take more damage in body shots, but you'll take less damage in headshots. So there is a trade-off. It's not all good or all bad. That's interesting. Ash Dynamite Explosion, 50 raw damage. Currently just 35 against current armor. Armor will go to 45 because it caps at 5 damage. Ash Dynamite damage over time. Does 70 currently, will do 100. Wow. There's no way they don't change it so DOT is applied to armor, right? Zarya Particle Cannon, 0 energy, does 95 damage. Currently against armor does 66.5. And against new armor, it will do 66.5. Huh. It's the same. That's interesting. Zarya Particle Cannon at 100 energy will do 133 versus 133. Is there something I'm missing here? Oh, is it because it's a beam? Oh, because it's a beam, it doesn't work the same way. Okay, that makes sense. Junkrat Grenade Launcher does 120. Against current armor does 84. It will now do 115, which is a massive buff to Junkrat damage versus tanks. Extremely big buff to armor in general. But so yeah, if you're fighting a Brig or a Torb or a Bastion or a Rhine or anything like that, you'll do significantly more damage. Wrecking Ball Chain Guns currently do 5 damage per bullet. It does 3.5 versus current armor and 2.5 versus the future armor. Yeah, so Ball takes a significant hit in damage with the new armor changes. Headshots on Wrecking Ball does 10 damage. Currently does 7 versus armor. It's going to go down to 3.75. So Ball is going to struggle versus armor. Ball is going to struggle, but you shouldn't be playing Ball fighting armor anyways half the time, which means you're mostly fighting tanks or Brig. And it's like, in those instances, it doesn't really make sense to be fighting with left click a tank or a Brig a lot of the time, you know? So, or at least, sorry, a full health Brig. So yeah, that's pretty significant against Wrecking Ball, but he does get some more buffs that we saw in the blog post. So, no shit. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, there's a few things on here that scare me. The Sojourn Railgun scares me. The Widow Headshot one scares me, even though it's not a significant change, it still scares me a little bit. The Malga Bullets I'm still interested in. And the DOT on Ana. Those are probably the big things I'm mostly like, I don't know about this. You know? I wonder if they'll change it. Maybe they just like launch it and see what happens. And then if it ends up being too strong, they change it after that, you know? But if you don't have armor up, the Sojourn Railgun Headshot is lower. Yeah, but typically, if your armor's gone on tank and you're getting full charge railed in the head, you're probably close to death anyways. I don't know. Those are pretty cool though. That's actually pretty cool. It's a buff for all burst damagey characters. Yeah, that's the thing, is it's gonna be more burst, which is spooky, of course, but the headshot passive is kind of massive, you know? Oh, there's new stuff on the graphic or on the chart. May Endothermic Blaster, 5 damage, goes to 3.5 with current armor, 2.5 after the update. Cassidy Peacekeeper, 70 damage normally, 49 with current armor, 65 after the headshot change. Or sorry, the body shot change. And then here's with headshot, it currently does 98, but then it will do 101.25. So it's not a big difference to headshot, but body shot gets way, way up. What's this? Oh. Holy shit, this is awesome. Okay. Armor effectiveness pre and post mid-season 10 patch. So the blue line is pre-patch, yeah, orange is post-patch, and red is post-patch with headshot. So pre-patch is right here in the middle. Post-patch, they take way more raw damage. So it kind of looks like you're going to take more damage with the armor now than you did before. which is kind of spooky. It's just headshot damage is going to be mostly better across the board. So you won't be getting exploded as much, but your health bar will get chunked. So that kind of says to me they're trying to find a way that tank is still killable without exploding constantly. Change in damage reduction against armor pre and post mid-season 10 patch. Oh, this is pre and post mid-season patch. Armor only, armor plus tank headshot passive. This is a change in percentage DR. So down here, so you're gonna be so negative is you take more damage. This is where you take less damage. So against like small amounts of damage, so like your tracers, your reapers, your per pellet, right? In the second graph, when the line is above 0, less damage, when it's below more damage. Okay, so like tracer, diva, hell, torp turret technically falls under this. Does sim turret fall under that? No, I don't think so, because I think it's a beam technically. Tracer, diva, reaper, pellets, hog. Although hog has the big pellets now, so I don't know if that totally counts the same way. You're gonna take less damage to those characters, but the big one, Bastion too, Bastion tank, or the recon, not recon phone, but the assault form, you'll take less damage from too. Doom too, true, Doom as well probably, but the big damage like Cass, Widow, Echo, like bigger chunkier hits, you'll take more from. This is why Winston was so bad against armor in Overwatch 1. Yeah, like Winston would take a huge hit, but he has that buff right now where he ignores armor. So Winston's gonna probably still be insanely good. But if they took away the ignoring armor thing on Winston all of a sudden would probably struggle a ton. This is interesting. This is actually super interesting. What about Kiriko? I don't think Kiriko's on this list yet, but Kiriko probably would also do more, right? Actually, no, wait, because the headshots, that's where your big damage comes in for Kiri. Oh, he's doing it right now. He's doing we will watch him do it in real time. Because like Kiri's big thing is hitting headshots, but you have the tank passive, right? So you'll probably do more damage to body shots, but the headshots is going to be, I would guess, probably similar. Wow, look at that. We watched it get filled in real time. So Kiri will do significantly more damage on body shots versus armor, with an 18, almost 19% increase, going from 31.5 on current patch to 40 damage post patch. But with the headshot change, it's only doing 1.67% more. So it's slightly more damage getting when you get headshot. But for characters like Zarya, Doom, Queen, characters that don't have armor.
So much, but I hope you're having a better day than me.
Oh, I hope it gets better. Thanks to 500 bits. Who don't have armor, those tanks that don't have armor, they will be taking less damage already because they'll have the passive, right? So like they were never having the armor anyways. So like Kiri, Queen, Doom. Does Hog have armor? I don't think he does. I don't remember Hog having armor. Sigma. Those tanks will actually be way better because they didn't have armor beforehand. So they'll be even stronger because the 25% passive is a passive. That's so interesting. Wait, did we not think about this hard enough? Does that mean that this is actually just a big buff to Hog, Queen, Sigma, Doom? Not Doom, actually. Doom also gets nerfed because of the left click. Isn't this just a buff to all of them? Zarya. Yeah, it's harder to kill tanks with no armor. That's interesting. And then if you play certain tanks like Winston or Rhine, if you play against like a Tracer, Ball too, if you play against a Tracer, they're not going to do shit. Yeah, I don't know. This is going to be actually super interesting. I don't know if this is going to totally fix everything, but it's going to be fun for a bit. Like, this is good. Let's be honest, tank is going to probably get broken. There's going to be a lot of broken tanks. It's probably going to go crazy for a couple weeks. And you know what? I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Good. I think the damage knockback passive is probably going to be the big one. That is probably going to make the biggest impact more than anything, because you're just going to get up in people's faces. They're going to try to like whip shot you away or CC you away, and they're just going to get smoked.